up, y'all? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's get into the drama of it all. It has been a hot minute since I've done one of these. But in this video, we're going to be talking about Chris and Monique Samuels filing for divorce. So let's get into it. So the article where I'm going to be reading about this divorce is going to be People magazine. And y'all, People is being shady. So y'all remember back in 2022 in October during BravoCon, they had this huge panel, and I think Andy asked Ashley Big Headed Darby about like how Monique was doing, and she pretty much like confirmed that her friend was getting a divorce. Well, y'all remember Monique and Chris came out in that awkward IG live where they were trying to refute the claims, and I have that clip and we're gonna play it as I talk about this. But I wanted to read the article first, and y'all know the link will be below. All right, so the article titles is RHOP alum Monique Samuel files for divorce from Chris Samuels exclusive. People confirmed in October of 2022 that Monique and Chris Samuels had split after 10 years of marriage. It goes on, it says, Monique Samuels has filed to legally end her marriage to Chris Samuels. The Montgomery County Family Court confirmed to People on Tuesday that the Real Housewives of Potomac alum 39 has officially filed for divorce from her NFL player 45. Through Monique has filed a petition to seal the documents. The docs showed that she filed a complaint for absolute divorce on April the 14th. She then filed on an amendment a complaint for absolute divorce on June the 15th. The former couple's divorce has yet to be finalized. However, Monique and Chris have a scheduled hearing on Wednesday. People has reached out to Monique and Chris for comment. People confirmed in October of 2022 that Monique and Chris had called it quits after 10 years of marriage. The former couple was wed in 2012, shared 3 children, son Christopher and Chase, plus daughter Melania. They haven't appeared on each other's representative IG grid since December of 2022. Neither party posts any to commemorate their 11th wedding anniversary on March the 3rd, as well as Mother's Day or Father's Day. Additionally, Chris has unfollowed Monique and her company, Not for Lazy Moms, on Instagram. Monique and Chris' marital issues were apparent during the first season of Love and Marriage DC, airing early in 2022. The title of the article is RHOP alum Monique Samuels files for divorce from Chris Samuels exclusive. People confirmed in October of 2022 that Monique and Chris Samuels had split after 10 years of marriage. Monique Samuels has filed to legally end her marriage to Chris Samuels. The Montgomery County Family Court confirmed to People on Tuesday that the Real Housewives of Potomac alum 39 has officially filed for divorce from her NFL player 45. Though Monique has filed a petition to seal the documents, the docket shows that she filed a complaint for absolute divorce on April the 14th. She also filed to amend a complaint of absolute divorce on June the 15th. The former couple's divorce has yet to be finalized. However, Monique and Chris have a scheduled hearing for Wednesday. People has reached out to Monique and Chris for comment. People confirmed in October of 2022 that Monique and Chris had called it quits after 10 years of marriage. The former couple, who was wed in 2012, shared 3 children, sons Christopher and Chase, plus daughter Melania. They haven't appeared on each other's respective IG grids since December of 2020. Neither party posts anything of commemorance of their 11th wedding anniversary on March the 3rd, as well as Mother's Day or Father's Day. Additionally, Chris has unfollowed Monique and her company, Not for Lazy Moms, on Instagram. Monique and Chris' marital issues were apparent during the first season of Love and Marriage DC, airing early in 2022. It's not a secret that Chris and I have had struggles in some areas of our marriage. And anybody who watched Loved in Marriage DC last year, y'all saw the arguments, y'all saw everything that was going on. The Real Housewives of Potomac alum said on a lengthy YouTube video as Chris was beside her per usual on Us Weekly. It was a lot of confusion. It was crazy building up to that 10-year marker of our marriage. And when you've been married that long and when you have things that you're like, listen, this is being unmet or I have been unheard, you start to get frustrated. And it's like, oh my God, is this what life is going to be? I can't take it anymore, she continued. So what y'all saw on Love and Marriage DC last season, it was my cry for help. And while she also commented that the pair were doing therapy solo to work on their personal issues, Monique insisted they aren't getting a divorce and absolutely not are going their separate ways. And that's the end of the article. So let me give you guys my thoughts. And I'm going to do the niceties in the beginning. So first off, y'all know I don't like this lady. I don't. But I do hope her divorce with Chris is amicable, that it is peaceful, and that they remember at the forefront that they have 3 kids and that they should be respectful to one another and help those kids in this transition period. Because at the end of the day, those are the 3 people that are probably going to be affected by this the most, because up until now, their life has been with their mom and dad being together. And now they have to deal with them not being together. And when I was younger, I really did think divorce was a bad thing. And it more so came from me watching people in school go through it with their parents and how it really messed them up, or it just really affected them. But as I've gotten older, I realized that divorce is a way to close a chapter in your life. Divorces can be amicable or they can be just nasty and dragged out, like we see what's happening with Lisa and Lenny Hutchinson. So divorces can be positive things. They can be amicable. But it is also kind of sad when you see people that you think are going to make it and it doesn't come to fruition. It implodes. But again, I really do hope that they remain respectful to one another so that they can move accordingly, so they can take care of their kids. That's how I feel. So let's get messy.
You gotta get a job.
No, I don't.
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 Y'all, we all owe Chris's mom an apology. Because we all thought that lady was being money hungry and bitter about Monique and him being together, because we were like, maybe she hating on Monique because she's so pretty and she with her son. But really, I feel like that lady clocked who Monique was from the door. I really do feel that way, because if Monique shows up in real life, in her actual real life, the way she shows up on these shows like in Potomac, Love and Marriage DC, and even the way she acts on her YouTube channel, because we know some people have a persona. I wouldn't want her around me either, because she screams somebody that has up a mask of who they think the world wants to see them as, not who they truly are. And it's funny to me, and why I read the People's Magazine article is because when Ashley, her friend, her bestie was on at BravoCon, and Andy asked her like, what's going on with Monique and Chris, and she pretty much outed that they was having marital issues. She got up on YouTube and tried to play like People Magazine didn't know what they was talking about. I'm gonna play a part of that clip.
Are Chris and I getting a divorce? No, we're not getting a divorce. Are Chris and I going our separate ways, as People Magazine love to state? Monique Samuels and Chris Samuels are going their separate ways. Absolutely not. Nobody ever said that. Okay. Have we filed a legal separation?
The clip I just showed y'all is what they were talking about in the People Magazine article about like a lengthy YouTube video. That was a YouTube video she did after all that speculation came out. Once Ashley spoke up when she was asked about how Monique is doing by Andy when they were doing the panel at BravoCon. So she came out trying to like subvert the narrative and like refute the claims that her and Chris were getting a divorce. She was like, they didn't legally file for divorce. She don't know what People People magazine is talking about. And that's also why I read the People magazine article, because I remember when this came out and Nikki Star TV, she was talking about it, and she, like, I enjoy her opinion because she is an actress. She is someone that works in Hollywood, and she also has siblings that work behind the scenes in Hollywood. And she expressed how, like, People magazine is not like a TMZ or like a Enquirer, National Enquirer. People magazine is ones that they try to get confirmation before they release anything. So if they actually released a People magazine article, more than likely what they were saying in that article was true. And when I thought about it after she said it, I was like, she's right, because anytime you go to a People magazine, they're always telling you, like, we got confirmation from this, or we reached out to this person and they told us this. Like, they cite their sources. So when I saw the article, I was like, I think this is true. And I remember I watched a few of the clips of her YouTube video, because I didn't go on her channel, but they were posting it all up and down the timeline on Twitter. And I was like, she telling half truths. And like somebody say, she infected with diabetes, because she was telling the truth, but she wasn't. Like, she was saying, like, yeah, we had issues. Y'all watched Love and Marriage DC. Yes, that's true. We saw you have issues. But we're asking, are y'all getting a divorce? Are y'all separating? And she kept saying, no, we're not getting a divorce. You know, we're going through. And if you want to know and see our journey, then watch Love and Marriage DC. That's when my tinfoil hat came on, where I felt like this was a scheme set up by Todd to bring us the bull. Like, I genuinely felt at that time that when she mentioned, like, oh, you'll be able to see us and our struggles and how we find our way back to each other on Love and Marriage, I was like, like, did you get Ashley to say something so you can get buzz for the show? Because at that time, I think they were actually filming. Like, because if you watch Love and Marriage DC, none of the cast knew, especially for this season 2, that Monique and Chris stopped filming. They thought they had continued to film, but then Monique and Chris came out saying that, you know, we stopped filming with the production company because, you know, we just felt like we didn't want this chapter of our life to be televised, even though in that YouTube video you was trying to get people to come to the show. And I mean, people's can change, but honestly, when you're so used to Monique lying and trying to rewrite the narrative, it felt like that again. And I was just like, okay. And honestly, you could tell that they were going to get a divorce if you watched Love and Marriage DC. I remember I tweeted out saying that, like, I had a theory that they were going to get a divorce, and people were in my comments hot in my mentions saying that I was reaching and I should be ashamed of myself, that as a black woman, I'm preying on another black family's downfall. Shut up. I just knew that they were going to get it because Monique was overbearing. She was nagging the hell out of Chris, and she was very dismissive, and she was fed up with him at this point. Chris was a little too late with trying to change. He was taking his time, and it was like, you're at the point in your marriage where you can no longer do that. She's looking for immediate changes, and she did not find that in Chris. But I also feel like Monique has never really been honest with what she wants in life and what she wants out of life. I genuinely think she settled for Chris because that rap career didn't take off. Because when you think about when Monique and Chris got together, Chris was still playing with the Washington team. I know we don't call them, you know, the R skins anymore, but she was playing for the Washington team. They get together. She ends up having the kids and stuff. But when they meet, she's still doing music. And I think she settled with Chris because she realized that music wasn't going to take off. So she was like, well, at least I could be a wag. And the issue for women who are wags that don't have anything going for them before they get married, they get tired of being in their husband's shadow. That's why I feel like Monique came to Potomac ready to perform, ready to be accepted by all the women, and wanting to create this narrative that she lives this wholesome life with her 3 kids, her man, and they just love each other down and all this stuff because she wanted the spotlight. That is what I believe. I believe she wanted the spotlight, and Potomac was giving that to her, but then she had to go and mess it up for herself and put her hands on another castmate. And y'all being mad at Candace that she tweeted about her being a prophetess because they're getting a divorce, y'all are lame. Because I guarantee you, if the person that assaulted me and physically beat me up on national TV is meeting their demise, I'm gleefully laughing in their face. Like, there's no coming back from that. I'm gleefully laughing in your face. So I was like, y'all be acting like people like y'all wouldn't do that. Because you definitely would. You would definitely like send screenshots and be like, see, God don't like ugly. That's why they family falling apart. You would do something like that. I know I would do something like that. After you physically assault me, girl, all bets are off. So we knew that, like, I just knew this was coming. I knew this was coming. Had she played her cards right, she could have stayed on Potomac and been straight. But no, Potomac is a little check. And I don't believe, like, everyone's like, oh, she's going to come back to Potomac during season 9, like saying that the reason why she hit Candace was due to her issue she was facing in her marriage. And I'm like, I don't know about that. The only reason why I don't know about that is because I'm like, where would she fit in? She might fit with Mia, oh, gutter snipe self. But Giselle and Robin ain't fooling with her. Candace and Wendy definitely ain't fooling with her. Maybe she would only have Ashley and Karen, but that ain't enough to keep you on the show. It's not enough. I feel like she would run back to Love and Marriage DC before she would run back to Bravo. Like, I don't believe Monique's pride nor her ego would allow her to go back to Bravo after the way she shaded them on OWN, talking about, y'all are going to get to see the real me, all of me. And we did see all of you on Bravo. We just didn't like what we saw. And that's why I always tell y'all to be bravely authentic, because when you are authentically yourself, it is extremely hard for things to tear you down because you're already solidified in who you are. And I think the issue for Monique is she is always trying to vie for people's attention and adoration. And that's not like, and she presents this front that's not really her. And a lot of people are like, well, y'all are gleefully happy that they're getting divorced. Some people are, but I think majority of people are looking at this like, this lady always tried to act like her marriage was perfect and above all the other women on Potomac, but now you're getting a divorce. You try to present this facade, and now here you are. When if you were just truly yourself, this would have been easy for you. And I think that's always been Monique's problem, that she feels like she has to perform in order to get people's support and love. And it's like, you shouldn't have to do that. Making friendship and being in a relationship should be an easy thing for you, but it's not. So that's why I always say, bravely, like, remember to be bravely authentic, because it's like, be yourself. It is way easier for you to experience life when you're authentically yourself. And that doesn't mean you're not going to face like hardships, but at least you'll be able to get through them knowing at the end of the day, I didn't, forego myself for things that I would never do, just for a small moment of like pleasure or like applause from people that honestly I don't really care about or know. But I think that's all my thoughts, y'all. Like I said, I hope their divorce is amicable because they got 3 kids. I don't know what the end is going to be. I do think it's interesting that she wants the documents sealed, because normally I feel like when people want documents sealed, yes, it's to protect their privacy, but it's also like, I feel like y'all hiding something major. But hey, it is their life, it's their divorce. But that's all, y'all. So remember to be bravely authentic. Hop down in them comments below. Subscribe. And thanks for stopping by. Deuces.